But it's harder or easier for you being a woman, especially politics is very much a male-dominated domain.
You know, the issue is, it's also, the landscape is very much shaped to meet the needs of a man rather than a woman. It's so paternalistic at times that it's very maddening. But I feel
Would you encourage more women to enter politics?
Oh, definitely. I mean, only women know what's best for women and men. Because we raise children. I'm sorry, I raise children, so I have, you know, and I frequent a lot of women, and I think the point is, we can bring on so much to the political scene. I feel, you know, and I think in Asia, especially, you talk about it's not something new. I mean, Indonesia, come on, it's not something new. But the point of the matter is, do not for once think that women's issues should be relegated to be spoken out on by women. It should be made mainstream issues. And I don't like the point of, you know, being a feminist, etc. I mean, women's issues are mainstream issues. You know, we talk about having policies for families, etc., for bringing up children. I mean, it should be embraced by the society as a whole, I feel.
How about, you know, we're living in a modern world, and yet it's also very much a multicultural world and worlds full of conflict. I mean, what kind of role would you like to play in this kind of world, especially as a woman and as a Muslim woman, or as a human being? How do you feel that you fit into this world?
I think for Malaysia, the fact that we're so diverse, even for me, I don't consider myself so much, you know, first and foremost, a Muslim leader, a woman, because I feel like I'm in this diverse mix of groups, and with every person that I meet or every conversation that I have, I'm representing all these multicultural, multi-religious identities. And it's hard, you know, perhaps people see me first and foremost as a Muslim woman, as a Malaysian woman, Malaysian legislator, but I hope to give across a sort of acceptance, you know, much more so than just that. You shouldn't assume just because people are seen based on a certain identity and image that, you know, you sort of regiment them on a certain view of prejudice.
But how would you like to see religion play a role in a country?
One of the key things we should learn from Indonesia is the term Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, because it really sets a very clear sort of policy in terms of how things are going to progress for the country. From Malaysia's perspective, when you talk about politicizing religion, I think what's most dangerous is the fact that the government of the day, how do you ensure there is sufficient freedom and safeguards for worshippers of other religions? And how do you ensure you do not misuse the name of Islam to create sort of a mainstream acceptance of the government, which is in line with a particular view of Islam? Okay, when you talk about Islam, you're a Muslim, you're supposed to be the protector. Islam is a religion that heals, that allows safeguards. I mean, then you have to walk the talk. And it's very sad to see that we're not actually implementing or practicing the religion as it should be. And this also is linked to how the Sharia is being practiced in Malaysia, which is very problematic. I mean, in the ground level, I think issues with regards to how easy it is for divorce to take place. It's terrible. It's causing such a huge amount of social problems at the ground level.
Would you say your views represent what young Malaysians feel and think?
I mean, it's not fair for me to lump it all on the entire younger generation, but certainly more and more Malaysians are speaking out in favor of more progressive ideals. However, I do encourage, we should never close the window to more dialogue, just talking to even some groups who are not agreeable to us, because this sort of engagements will help open up the space for acceptance. So I disagree if the focus is only for liberal Muslims. I think, you know, majority of Malaysians are considered relatively conservative. Majority Muslim Malaysians, excuse me. And it's important for different groups to engage them, because don't just engage those who you deem as liberals. You know, you're not going to change their mind. They're agreeable with you. You want to influence the rest. It's a sort of complex issue, but you must allow for diverse views to live and to thrive in order to basically allow people to choose the best out of those.
You're a happy person?
Jovial, quite. I can be a bit narcissistic, but I'm quite joyful. I think that's the only way to survive politics, honestly. It's
you seem to actually thrive in politics.
I don't know. I think it's just because our first meeting, that's why.
When your children grow up, what sort of Malaysia would you like them to live in?
I want
and is
them.
that the dream that you're working towards?
But I want them to grow up not having to depend on anyone. I mean, just depend on their own strengths, on their own qualifications, on their own talents. Because I keep telling my daughter, and she's not yet 4, but you can't have everything you want in life. And you
don't know where to put it.
True. But just, you know, to get a sense that, and sometimes I bring her to the rural areas, or I'm bringing the second one to Sarawak, Miri, and the longhouses, because I feel that, you know, you must understand how difficult life can be. And I think the Malaysia I want, of course, you know, something that's much fairer in all aspects and devoid of executive influence. But first and foremost, they have to be tough.
Okay,
Izzah, all right.
Thank you very much. It's been a great pleasure.
Sure. Thanks for coming here all the way.